Hello, YouTube. This is an alcohol review of Bowman Brothers Virginia Straight Bourbon Whiskey. All right. Small batch, product of Virginia, which explains why it's a Virginia Straight Bourbon Whiskey. 45% alcohol by volume, 90 proof, 750 ml bottle. Very nicely packaged, obviously very custom made bottle to it. Absolutely beautiful. A combination of ink versus stamp. The only problem I have is see what appears to be a blank spot between that paragraph and that paragraph. If you look carefully enough, you will see there's writing in there. It's a very similar shade to the label itself, making it almost impossible to read. So hopefully there's nothing overly important right there. I know no one out there is really paying attention to this little grief of mine, but pay attention to the ink, pay attention to the background colors, try to stand out, but do a better job than that. So forth and so on and so on. That lecture done. But the rest of the packaging, quite nice. Considering it's a mid-range price, very nice. We have a very large hard cork. We have a hungry mosquito. And, kind of like that sound, I believe that's a full cork. Yes, it is a full cork. Tops like these are not cheap. Dishes, they're good stuff. This is top tier corkage, corketing. But did it take all their money, pour it into packaging and nothing else, leaving the product to suffer? Got it like that. Flip it, turn, flip it. And you do the flip thing because you want to get the cork moist. The cork gets moist, it expands, it seals better. That's why you always see wine bottles tilted. So you always keep that cork wet. You don't see it due to like whiskey bottles because well, you're drinking it fast enough. It's not going to matter. Oh, another part about the packaging is there's a picture in the back on the rear label that helps pushes the brothers, the Bowman brothers narrative. The paragraph that you can read talks about the glories of these supposed brothers and how the whiskey bourbon that is in this bottle is a celebration of or attributed to, inspired by these brothers. And here we go. It is a light caramel, heavy on the yellows. I would go far as say gold, but no. It's just flat out yellow. Give it a swirl. It has a wonderful nose. Lemons, orange, caramel, vanilla. Absolutely fantastic. A hint of burn, a hint of bite, but all in all, a beautiful nose. It has very, very little bite, but it does have a burn to it. A light burn, but a consistent burn. A lot of these whiskeys will have a burn that starts in the beginning and then fades out quick. The bite is similar to that. In this case, like I said, bite's non-existent. The burn grabs, holds, stays. In the Meantime, you start getting those flavors again that you got from the nose. Your orange, your lemon, caramel, bits of honey, all that comes in through. Usually, I get a lot of stone fruit in these, apricot, things along that line. I don't, not with this. But, sitting in the back, waiting to come forward, is that ethanol taste, that alcohol. To my palate, it's like burnt rubber. So you get these wonderful flavors in the beginning. With them comes that burning, gets in the back of the throat, gets on the side of the tongue, those types of things. And then when they fade out, it leaves you with burning and ethanol, which is that bitter, burnt tire type of taste. These are setbacks, in my opinion. I do really enjoy and do really appreciate all those original fruit notes that come forward in the nose, come forward on the tongue. The hang time is nice and moderate for those flavors, but knowing that you're going to have burnt tire waiting for you at the end of it is a bit of a put off. But on the other hand, it's not that big of a turnoff. So yes, it's there. Yeah, I'm expecting it to fade during the review here. Usually these do, but not in this case. It remains strong and proud, and in the very back of the palate, making it hard to get rid of. So it makes it kind of difficult to figure out whether or not this is a standalone sipper, or is this a cocktail, or of course is it a blend of both? And I have to say it's a bit of a blend of both. There's enough wonderful flavors that you get initially and stays true with and to every time you sip it. Even the negative notes that come in, the negative notes can be overlooked largely. As in, yeah, the angry person is yelling in your ear. You're not going to get rid of them. You can't really just shove them out of the way. So you kind of accept it's there. That's the way this is. That ethanol flavor is going to be there. You can't really get rid of it. So try to shove it off to the side and enjoy all those other notes that are worth enjoying. And this has got multiple layers to it. It comes in sets and stages, and it's wonderful to try to sip and pick apart. But like I said, it's got that the ugly side that will be known. So, to correct this, I introduced some ice. Now, why is that a thing, a deal? When you introduce ice, it has a tendency of dulling your senses. By doing that, because you are dulled to it, it will lose a lot of your solution will lose a lot of its sharp edges. Unfortunately, by losing some of the sharp edges, you start losing its nuances as well. So, as you're being cut by the razor, that razor's got flavor. So you lose the razor, you lose some of those flavors. But of course you lose the pain of being cut by the razor. It turns into which do you appreciate? How much of the nuances do you really want? How bad are the negatives? Do you really want to get rid of the negatives at the cost of? And so forth and so forth and so forth. And the introducing cold which dims down your senses by around 70%. Yeah, 70%. You lose a lot of taste into this. Well, I did introduce ice to it just to see. And yes, it did take off the sharp edges, as said. It did wipe away a lot of the nuances, as predicted. And now you got a heavier clump of good flavors and a heavy clump of the bad flavors, all vying for their time. So it didn't really help. It just simply lowered the score, lowered the bar on what it was introducing to you. So it helped, not really, sort of. Also, try this in a cocktail. It's good, strong flavors come out through. And it competed with all the other sweet, sugary from the cocktails that I was introducing to it, thinking it would help get rid of the ethanol flavoring to it. It partially got rid of ethanol flavoring. It partially got rid of all the wonderful nuances and notes. It partially got rid of its own little sweetness, because that fought with the nuances and notes. It was not improved. It was not diminished, but it was not improved by adding it to a cocktail. So this is definitely a, you guys call it, it's an okay sipper. It's got a lot of strong flavors. So with winter would be a good one. Late fall, early spring, it would be good to have. Summertime, it might be a little harsh for summertime. I've lived around Virginia, had friends who were from Virginia, and yeah, I could see this be something they would go for. And due to the wonderful temperatures of Virginia, it fits those times. But then again, I don't think this is a sipper for anywhere, even Virginia. This is definitely a winter, watch the snowfall, take your sips. But it's got its dark side. So really, it's up to whoever tries. I had the missus try it, and she gave a total different review. She said it was a watery letdown in the beginning. Then came the fruit notes, and before the fruit notes could fully mature, she got washed with the ethanol flavor. It was absolutely just sank any enjoyment out of it. So for her, it was a hard no, as my one son likes to say. But for me, I say that it's an equal pairing, hand in hand, good and bad, same coin. And it's really where you're looking, emphasizing your look on, depends on what you're going to emphasize of. Are you looking toward the negative side of it, and getting all those ethanol, or looking at the positive and those wonderful fruit notes and spices that come out? Give it a try. See what you guys think. This is Bowman Brothers Virginia Straight Bourbon Whiskey, small batch. I did notice that there was another type out there, at least in my local liquor store. Maybe sometime later. But as it is, small batch. Any comments about this particular product, write it down below. Accept it graciously, as always. Or better yet, go out, buy it, try it, and see what you think, and do a review on it on the YouTube, and let the rest of us in the YouTube spirits community know your thoughts about Bowman Brothers Virginia Straight Bourbon Whiskey, small batch. Like I said, I was surprised at the total difference the missus had on her thoughts of something of this particular product. We've had where what I was tasting things she wasn't on different liquors, alcohols. I've had it in the past where I thought it was garbage. She thought it was wonderful. And this is one of those moments, not that she was thinking it was garbage, just that she was pulling out bits and pieces I didn't even think. She said it tastes watery, no flavor in the beginning. Then it hits you with, and I'm like, no, I don't get that at all. So try it and see what you think. And until next time, keep on drinking.